Okay, as this is actually going to be a twofer here, it's going to show up both on our Game of Thrones channel, Bend the Knee podcast, and our Wheel of Time podcast. And as a video game guy myself, I'm also a Witcher fan, and I'm covering those, but I'm reading those books. So it's kind of a threefer here. So every once in a while, I just, as we're getting ready to record some of our podcasts here, I go and I start typing in news. I say Star Wars news, see what comes up. Star Wars, or like Game of Thrones news, Wheel of Time news, just see if there's any sort of talking points. Sure. And almost always it's these sort of clickbait websites. And every once in a while, I'll click on it, whatever, just to see, excuse me here. Just to see, what it is that they're saying. Because almost always it's like, especially we see this in Game of Thrones, and it's like how this death could change what we saw in season 8. It's like in the books. Yeah. We get it. All right. Here we go here. So this is just posted by I'll give her a shout out here at Cinna Snark on Twitter, Sarah Mars. And it's the Wheel of Time doesn't have dragons is the name of it, but she references Game of Thrones here as well. Even though the last season's and final disappointment finale disappointed pretty much everyone, Game of Thrones was a huge success. So huge naturally that everyone raced to copy it. Netflix was out of the gate with an experienced fantasy series touted as the next Game of Thrones with The Witcher, which turned out to be more dumb fun than prestige viewing. Although I've heard season 2 was a big leap forward in quality and drama. HBO is hoping to recapture the magic with a spin-off prequel series focused on a civil war hundreds of years before the events of Game of Thrones, and Amazon is launching 2 entries into the race, a massively expensive Lord of the Rings spin-off and The Wheel of Time, a series based on Robert Jordan's long-running and popular series of fantasy novels. Rosamund Pike headlines the series, which just got its first teaser. It looks fine. Take my merely enthused reaction with a grain of salt. I'm not a hardcore fantasy nerd. Some things in the genre hit me right, usually when dragons are involved, like Game of Thrones or Robert Aspirin's great myth adventure series. I tried The Wheel of Time as a teenager because of the cover of the first book. The Eye of the World caught my eye in a used bookshop, but I did not make it even halfway through. Like Lord of the Rings before, I just couldn't get into the series, into the story. The lore bored me, and worse, there's a shocking lack of dragons. So, like Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones, I'm glad to see an adaptation come along because I will never read these books. There are like 15, and an adaptation will at least give me an overview of what I've been missing all these years. There are no dragons nor unicorns, which Robert Jordan loathed, there is magic. The teaser emphasizes that there are women in the world who are magically gifted and thus important, and Rosamund Pike is one of these special magic women. Although I'm pretty sure the chosen one in this story is the pouty-lipped dude, not the magical girl floating down the river. I feel like the teaser is trying to sell me a story about magical women, but I remember enough of The Eye of the World to recall that the dude, Rand, is the main character. Hope the bait and switch doesn't bite the show in the ass. Audiences don't like to be misled. I also hope everyone is setting their expectations at no dragons, because if you're looking for the next Game of Thrones, you're probably looking for that, at least in part. Dragons, prophecies, and tits. That was the lightning in the Game of Thrones bottle. The Wheel of Time has plenty of prophecies, but no dragons. We'll have to see about the last one, though. I bet The Witcher has the edge here with all of the bath scenes. So, first of all, I have to begin to break some of the things down here. So, what she's saying is that she's upset because she's saying that in Wheel of Time, that the chosen one, Rand al'Thor, right, the dragon reborn, by the way, so there actually are, well, there is a dragon in
singular
in Wheel of Time.
Let him ride again on the winds of time.
There is in fact a dragon, but then the bait and switch, and you don't want to be misled. Game of Thrones success the books, the thing is entirely predicated on being misled. The entire arc of Game of Thrones is about Jon Snow, aka possibly Aegon Targaryen. The whole deal is that it's a secret identity. All of Game of Thrones is about secret identities. It's the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's the whole thing. Also, dragons don't even show up as like full ready to go dragon until like season 3.
Well, first of all, I love, so her handle. This is Matt just throws this at me, and I have no idea. So, Cinesnark, this snarky critic. This is cool. I mean, she's got a couple podcasts. You guys should definitely go check them out. And I'm just looking at her website here now. But it just the title catches your attention. No dragons, and we wanted to make just one thing because Matt read this to me, and I was like, what do you mean no dragons? I said, the prophecy says that yet one shall be born to face the shadow, born once more as he was born before, and he shall be born again, time without end. The dragon shall be reborn. So, anyways, I just thought it was kind of funny. But I don't know. Yeah, I think this is going to be fine. I think so. We're talking about the trailer. We're talking about Wheel of Time. I think it's going to be awesome. It's epic, and I disagree. I think there's a ton of fans who are just fantasy-based fans. This series has a lot of fans behind it, and I think it's going to catch on. There's mystery. All of these, really what people miss about the Wheel of Time is the Dark Friend reveal, the Dark Friend socials, in which somebody who's with you the whole time seems like an awesome, nice person, and then there's this switch where they stab you in the back or try to or whatever, and so by the light, you got to strike them down. Those are some of the coolest parts. And in book 2, it's one of the coolest things from The Great Hunt. That's why we love The Great Hunt so much here on this podcast. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to be fine. I don't think, first of all, it looks like there is a little bath scene, by the way, maybe with Rand and Egwene. I don't know. It's steamy enough, Rafe said, that your teens can watch it. There's love interest. There's things going on. There's a lot. There's something for everybody. There may not be an actual physical winged dragon, but yeah, right. Some of the things here I just absolutely find the audiences don't like to be misled. There's nothing misleading. It's a teaser trailer. They say nothing of the Dragon Reborn in the teaser. There's going to be another trailer. Hold on a second. As you said,
and you haven't even
Eddard Stark is killed at the end. He's your lead, all right? I mean, at the end of that, you lose him and you think, I mean, people would just, did they just click off and turn off? No,
you know what?
They stuck around for 7 more seasons.
Right, and it's a shame that Star Wars never succeeded, because in episode 4, when Obi-Wan Kenobi says, "Oh, he killed your father." Yeah. And then when people find out that Darth Vader is his father, they were like, "Screw this, I'm out." Oh no, wait. It's like, one of the most important moments and one of the greatest, the single most quoted quote in the history of film, of Empire Strikes Back, which is consistently rated as like the best movie ever. Rolling Stone. There's been tons of things that have but I guess, maybe that was too misleading for some people.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. So you're going to have critics. You're going to have people come after this. So the trailer's just out there. And I mean, Matt's been we've been at times,
Oh, yeah.
It's fun to give your commentary. And this is cool. This is very a commentary like article where it's, we're stirring the pot here with the dragon conversation. But I'm always on coming out here and defending this series. I want it to get some wings, if you will, ride on the winds of time and take off. I hope everyone is in on this and they're reading the books. I hope Sarah herself goes back at some point and picks up Eye of the World and finishes it and gets to the Great Hunt and realizes, wow, this is, once you get to the second book, you say, I'll read 15, 20 books. It doesn't matter. This thing is that good that by the end of that, and people can argue and say, well, it should be that good by the end of book 1. The end of book 1 is also really good. The Eye of the World, the situation that happens there is awesome. And then in the Great Hunt, it just takes you a step further. Yeah. I didn't think you could outdo the Eye of the World, like the ending, and then you get to the Great Hunt, and by the light, Four-House, Shinoa, Ingtar standing down, facing down. I mean, it's just
you've finished the series. It isn't the end. It's not just about the chosen one. It requires the whole team.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's rewarding. The thing is,
it's like it's like a Avengers Assemble, man. You need all of them there.
Yeah,
they tried it with Iron Man and it didn't work. You needed all of them there.
Right, exactly. And that Robert Jordan is careful about that kind of thing. It's not just, you know, one person, Harry Potter. You know, it's not about Harry Potter. It's about his two friends with him, right? It's about everyone coming together. That's what the good stories do. So
Neville Longbottom with the sword. Okay,
I know.
I mean,
without him, where are we?
We're screwed. Where
are we? We're screwed. So Egwene is a huge deal, and it's just so folks who, I guess, if you read something like that, what doesn't matter who the critic is or whatever, give it a chance. Really go into it with an open mind. And the way they're doing some of the Aes Sedai stuff and the magic, I'm impressed with it. I think it's going to be cool. And there is prophecy. So of the three things that she says, like there's no prophecy, there's no dragons, there's too much bait and switch. There are dragons. There's a dragon, excuse me. There's false dragons, but there's also just a singular dragon. And there is prophecy. So it's just awesome. I think she probably knew when she wrote that there are no dragons, she would get this response that like, yes, there is a.
I don't know. I'm looking at her Twitter, and she's seeming to play catch up here.
Can we have her on? There's
a lot of hate on her Twitter right now.
Oh no. Okay. Well, Sarah, look, if
justifiably so.
Oh well. Oh my gosh. Well, she's a critic. You know, that's the thing. People who go out, that's the thing. When critics go out and they get after a movie or they get after whatever it is, you have a lot of fans who love those series, and people who make content about them, and people who are working on the project themselves. It gets a little touchy, a little dicey sometimes because this is their little jobs, right? These actors are putting these great performances in and trying to bring this book series to life, and so many fans are behind it. I think people are going to come out and say, hey, this is pretty cool. And so anyways, interesting. I had no idea about this till Matt brought to my attention. So let's have her on. Let's chat with her.
Hey, I'm down.
So, all right, friends, with that, leave us a comment down below. Let us know what you think about this. We'll put a link down to the article. And again, go check out our podcast. Check her out there on Twitter as well. And as always, remember that the grave is no bar to our call.